students. We are in chapter 11, that is your network layers and protocols. So in the previous classes we have discussed many topics, and by today we are going to continue with that lesson. In that, first we are going to see reference model. So in that reference model, first we are going to discuss OSI model. We are going to discuss OSI model. So what is the expansion for OSI? Yes, it is your open system interconnection. It is your open system interconnection. Yes, it was introduced in the year 1984 for you. It was introduced in the year 1984 for you, and it was developed by ISO. It was developed by ISO. ISO is International Organization of Standardization. So this architecture is going to have 7 layers. It is going to have 7 layers. So each and every layer is going to have different architecture, and each layer is having specific functions to perform. Each and every layer is having different architecture, and similarly each and every layer is having specific function. So all these 7 layers, just now I told you, so this OSI model is going to have 7 layers for you. So these 7 layers only going to work together to transmit the data from one person to another across the globe. So these 7 layers only going to work together. Together for what purpose it is going to work? Yes, to transmit the data from one end to the another end it is going to work. So why you need such a layer, and what is the purpose of this layer? Yes, for example, you people are sending an information from your computer to another computer. Actually, what is happening there? So in each and every computer you will be having different layers. That is totally 7 layers. So each and every layer will perform the work that is allocated. That is the work or the function that is allocated to it. After performing that, it will be passed to the next layer, and finally it will be reaching the last layer in your computer. From that layer it will be moving to the next end, that is your another computer. In that computer also you are going to have 7 layers, and each and every 7 layers will be having specific functions to perform. Based upon that layer only you will be having the data from one computer to the another computer. For performing this we are in need of 7 layers. We can discuss what are the layers we are having by now. Yes, we can see what are the 7 layers. What are the 7 layers? So in that, the first layer, it is your physical layer. So first you people are going to have the first layer. It is your physical layer. And the next it is your data link layer. The next one it is your data link layer. And the third layer it is your network layer. The third layer it is your network layer. And the fourth layer it is your transport layer. The fourth layer it is your transport layer. And the fifth one it is your session layer. It is your session layer. And the next one it is your presentation layer. The sixth one it is your presentation layer, and the last one it is your application layer. It is your application layer. So totally we are having 7 layers. Totally we are having 7 layers. The first one it is your physical layer, and the next one it is your data link layer. Next one it is your network layer. Next one it is your transport layer. Next it is your session layer, and the next one it is your presentation layer, and the last it is your application layer. Okay, wow. So these are the layers totally we are having. So before discussing briefly about this, we can have a small introduction about this one. So these first 2 layers will be your hardware. These first 2 layers will be your hardware. And the remaining you people are having no. So these and all will be in your software. These and all will be in your software. So the first two layer, that is your physical layer, and the next two people are having the data link layer, no? So these two will be your hardware, and the remaining layers you people are having, no? These are your software part. So in that, important one thing is this transport layer you people are having, no? This transport layer is called as the heart of OSI model. This is transport layer is called as the heart of OSI model. So by means of this, now you people can understand the transport layer is the most important layer. The transport layer is the most important layer. Yes, now we can discuss each and every layer in a detail. So the first layer is what for you people? Yes, the first one, it is your physical layer. Yes, the first one, it is your physical layer. Yes, so the first layer, it defines the electrical and physical specification for devices. What this layer? So already in the I have explained it for you people know the first two layers are going to deal with the hardware components. So in that, the physical layer, it is going to defines electrical and physical specifications for devices. Okay, wow. And the next point you people are going to see is it is the responsible for physical connection between the devices. So what is the responsibility is? It is responsible for the physical connection. It is responsible for the physical connection between the devices. And the next point you people are going to hear is, yes, information is in the form of bits. So information will be seen in the form of bits. What do you mean by bits? So bits is nothing but, yes, it's your zeros and one. So it is just a combination of zeros and ones. So physical layer, it is your hardware layer. It defines the, and it is your first layer. Okay, wow. It defines the electrical and physical specification for devices. So the responsibility is to make the physical connection between the devices. So in this case, the information or in the form of bits. It is in the form of bits. Yes, next by side itself we can discuss what are the function of the physical layer. What are the functions of the physical layer? First, it is your bit synchronization. The first, it is your bit synchronization. And the second function, it is bit rate control. The second one, it is your bit rate control. And the third function, it is nothing but physical transmission mode. It is going to control the physical transmission mode. So these are the three functions of a physical layer. The first one, it is your bit synchronization, bit rate control, and the next one, it is your physical transmission mode. So this physical layer, it is your first layer. Yes, next we are going to have the next layer. It is your data link layer. Next one, it is your data link layer. By the name itself, you people can tell it is going to make a link here. So your data or the information that you people are sending will be able to have a link here. Link here means from one computer to next computer. When it is going to transmit, it is going to make a link here. So this layer guarantees the data transmitted from one computer to another computer are free of errors. So it is going to give a guarantee that what messages, data that you people are sending are free of error. It is of free of error. Guarantees the data are free of error. Error means, yes, it is full correct, that it is going to be guaranteed in this layer only. It is guaranteed in this layer only. So here it is also going to have some functions. In that, the first one, it is your framing. The first function, it is your framing. And the next one, it is your physical addressing. Physical addressing. And the next one, it is your error control. Error control. And the next one, it is your flow control. And the next function, it is your access control. So these are the functions that are in data link layer. So actually what is happening in the data link layer? Yes, it is going to guarantee that the data that are received or transmitted are free of error. So the functions are framing, physical addressing, error control, flow control, and the next one, it is your access control. Similarly, the data link layer is going to have two sub layers. It is going to have two sub layer. The first one, it is your LLC. The first one, it is your LLC, and the next one, it is your MAC. What is LLC for you? Yes, it is your logical link control. It is your logical link control. And the next one, it is your MAC. It is nothing but media access control. It is nothing but it is your media access control. So these are the two sub layers. These are nothing but it is your sub layers in data link layer. These are your sub layers. So clear with the second layer, that is your data link layer. Yes, next so similarly in this we are going to have two protocols also. We are going to have two protocols. Both the protocols are very simple protocols only. So the protocols that are used is 802.3, that is it is for your Ethernet, and the next one, it is your 802.11, it is for your Wi-Fi. So while you people are using Ethernet connection, the protocol that is used is 802.3.3, and when you people are using Wi-Fi connection, the protocol that is automatically used is 802.11. So these are the protocols that are used in the data link layer. Yes, next we are going to see the next layer. It is your network layer. It is your network layer. Yes, what is a network layer? Yes, it is going to determine the path. So in this layer, it is going to determine in which path the data has to move. In which path the data has to move. So here it determine the path of the data packets. Determine the path of the data packets. Path means what? Yes, while you people are sending data from one computer to another computer, there will be many paths. So in this case, it has to select the very shortest path. So this layer must select the shortest path for sending your message from one end to the another end. So that and all will be done in this network layer only. So this routing of data is done by using IP addressing. It is done by means of IP addressing. It is done by means of IP addressing. Similarly, it is the main responsibility is this layer must select the shortest path. It must select the shortest path. Next, we can see the two functions here. That is your routing, and the next one, it is your logical addressing. There are two functions here you people are having. It is your routing, and the next one, it is your logical addressing. So these are the two functions of the network layer. So what is the task of the network layer? It is going to determine the path of the data packets. So the path it is going to be select must also very shortest path only. So by means of IP addressing, the data is going to found the end computer. When it is going to send the data from one end to the another, it must be able to find out the next computer, no? Yes, that is identified by means of IP addressing. Identified by means of IP addressing. Here there are two functions you people are having. The first function, it is your routing, and the next one, it is your logical addressing. Yes, next we can see the next layer. It is your fourth layer. Fourth layer is, what is the fourth layer for you people? Yes, the transport layer is the fourth layer. So transport layer is also called as the heart of this layers. So fourth one, it is your transport layer. It is also called as the heart of the OSI. That is your 7 layers you people are having, no? In that, this fourth layer, that is your transport layer, is the heart of the OSI model. Here actually what this layer is going to do? Yes, it guarantees the sending of data is successful. So it is going to guarantee that the data that you people are sending is reaching the receiver end successfully. Sending the data successfully. So that is guaranteed in the transport layer for you. So similarly, by side itself, it is going to include error checking also. It includes error checking, and the next it is going to include end-to-end delivery of message. End-to-end delivery of message, and it provides, yes, and it provide acknowledgement. It is going to provide acknowledgement when you people are sending data from one end to another. Yes, you people will be getting acknowledgement that your data is received. And if you people are going to have any error, if the data that you have sent does not reach the end properly, means it is going to resend the data. It is going to resend the data. So these are all done in the transport layer for you. This data in the link in this layer is called as segment. So first, in the physical layer, we have seen each and every information is called as bits. So in this case, it is called as your segments. So in the transport layer, the information is called as your, the data, the information is called as your segment. So clear with the transport layer? So the transport layer is responsible for sending the data successfully. Here it includes error checking. Similarly, it guarantees end-to-end delivery of message. Similarly, it is going to provide acknowledgement for you people whether your data reach the other end safely or not. Similarly, it is having the option to resend the data. That is, if the data that you have sent is going to have any error, or otherwise it does not reach the end correctly, means yes, it is having the option to resend that data. Similarly, what else? The data in this layer is called as your segments. Similarly, here also you people are going to have the function. The first one, it is your connection oriented service. Here it is going to give connection oriented service, and the next one, yes, it is your connectionless service. So here you are going to have two functions. The first one, it is your connection oriented service, and the next one, it is your connectionless service. So clear with the 4 layers that we have discussed by now. Next, it is your 5th layer, that is your session layer. Yes, 5th layer, it is your session layer. So what is the task of this layer? Yes, it is going to identify the session between different network entity. So this layer is going to identify session between different network entities. Session means it is going to allocate the time, that's all. Different network entities. That is, it is going to allocate time. That is identified in this layer. Similarly, it controls the dialogue between the computer. It controls the dialogue. Dialogue means transmission of data between the computers or control. That is your dialogue. controls the dialogue between the computer. So it is having some responsibility. So this layer is having some responsibility. So what are the responsibilities? Yes, under that the first one, it is the responsible is establishment of connection. The first responsibility is establishment of connection. And the next one is maintenance of session. Maintenance of session. And the next one is authentication, and it also ensures security. The next responsibility is authentication. And the last one it ensure security. It is going to ensure security. So these are the 4 responsibility of the session layer. The session layer is going to identify the session between different network entities. Similarly, it is going to control the dialogue between the computers. So it is going to have some responsibilities. The first one is establishment of connection. Next one, it is your maintenance of session. Next one, it is your authentication. And the next one, it is going to ensure security for you. Similarly, it is also going to have some functions. Similarly, this layer is going to have the functions. In that, the first one, it is your session establishment. Establish. The next one, maintenance. After maintaining, it must terminate that one, no? Yes, the next one, it is your terminate. It's clear? So what are the functions of the session layer? Say it is first one, it is your session establishment. Next one, it is your maintenance. And the next one, it is your termination. That is, it is going to, after establishing the session, it has to maintain that till how long the session to be maintained? Till all the data is transmitted from one end to the another, the session must be maintained. After the transmission of the data, the session must be terminated for you. So that are the functions of the session layer. Yes, next we are going to see the next layer. It is your presentation layer. So by the name itself, you people will be clear. What is the presentation layer for you? Yes, it is going to present the data that you have received. Sixth one, it is your presentation layer. So actually what is going to happen in this layer is encrypt and decrypt of the data is done here. Encrypt and decrypt. What do you mean by encrypt? For example, the data that is transmitted from one end to the another, it will be in different format. No, just now we have discussed in the physical layer, it will be in the form of zeros and one. And when coming to the next layer, it will be in different format, that is frame. And in the next layer, that is the third layer, it will be in the packet. And in the fourth layer, that is your transport layer, it will be in segment. And coming to the fifth, sixth and seventh layer, it will be the upper data layer. Okay, ma? Upper layer data. So each and everything must be converted to the language that is understandable by the user. That is understandable by the user. That is mainly done in the presentation layer for you. So that is done in the presentation layer for you. And this layer is also called as translation layer. This layer is also called as your translation layer. So translation by the name itself, it is going to translate the data that it is received into the language that is understandable by the user. Understandable by the user. So here it is going to translate the layer to the next layer. What is the next layer? The seventh layer, it is your application layer. Okay, va? So here the main task that is done is encryption and decryption occur in this layer. Similarly, this layer is going to have function. The first one, it is your translation. You can see the functions. First one, it is your translation. And the next one, it is your encryption and decryption. Encrypt, and the next one, it is your decrypt. And the next one, it is your compression. And the next one, it is your compression. So these are the functions of the presentation layer. Encryptனா என்னது, உனக்கு ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் நீ அனுப்புகிற டேட்டா வேறு விதமான ஃபார்மெட்டில் இருந்ததுன்னா அது உனக்கு புரியும்படியாக மாற்ற போகுது. டீக்ரிப்ட்னா என்கிரிப்ட்னா என்னது, புரியாதபடி மாற்ற போகுது. டீக்ரிப்ட்னா அந்த புரியாமல் இருக்கிறத யூசருக்கு புரியும்படியாக மாற்றுறது தான் என்னது, டீக்ரிப்ட் பண்ணுறது. ஸோ வாட் எல்ஸ் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் தேட் யூ பீப்புள் ஆர் சென்டிங் மஸ்ட் பி செக்யூர்டு. செக்யூர்டுனா நீ இப்போ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் நீ ஹலோன்னு ஒரு இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் அனுப்புறலாம், அது ஹலோன்னே அப்படி உன்னோட இந்த நெட்ஒர்க்கில் அப்படி இந்த 7 லேயர்ஸ் வழியாக போய் நெட்ஒர்க் கனெக்ஷன்ஸ் மூலமாக போய் அதர் எண்டுக்கு போச்சுன்னா என்னது, தேர் இஸ் அ பாசிபிலிட்டி ஊடையில் ஹேக்கர்ஸ் என்ன பண்ணிடுவாங்க, அந்த இன்ஃபர்மேஷனை எடுத்துருவாங்க. ஸோ நம்ம இன்ஃபர்மேஷனை அனுப்பும்போது என்ன பண்ணி தான் அனுப்பணும், என்கிரிப்ட் பண்ணி தான் அனுப்பணும். அதாவது ஹலோங்கிற வேர்டு அடுத்தவங்களுக்கு புரியாதபடி அனுப்பணும். தட் இஸ் யோர் என்கிரிப்ட். ஸோ அடுத்த எண்டில் அது ரிசீவ் ஆகும்போது என்னாக ஆரம்பிச்சிடும், டீக்ரிப்ட் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சிடும். அதாவது ஹலோங்கிற டேர்ம் என்கிரிப்ட் புரியாதபடி இருந்தது, அடுத்த எண்டுக்கு என்னாகும், புரியாதபடி போனது புரிஞ்சபடி மாறிக்கிடும். ஸோ that translation is done in this layer, that is your 6th layer. And the next layer, that is your last layer, you people are going to have the 7th layer, it is your application layer. So 7th layer, it is your application layer. So this layer is also called as your desktop layer. This layer is also called as your desktop layer. So by this term you could be able to understand what is an application layer. So this end only you people are going to have all the software. In this layer only you are going to have all the software, and this layer acts as the interface between the user and the computer. And here it displays the received information to the user. So in this layer it displays the what else information it has received to the user. So in this layer only it is going to have softwares also. So many softwares is seen. So here it acts as the interface. It acts as the interface. It acts as the interface. So few example softwares you people can have. That's some example. That is your browsers, you people. So these are the examples for applications. You can have the browsers. Next you people can have the Skype, messages. These are the few examples for your applications. That is your software. These are the few examples. What are the browsers you people will be having? Yes, you can have your Chrome, Mozilla. Then what else? UC browser, like that you people are having. No, see, these are the examples for your applications. So application layer is also called as your desktop layer. In this layer what is actually happening, it is going to display the received information to the user, and it is going to have all collections of software, and it acts as the interface. So clear with the layers that we have discussed by now. So by now we have discussed all the 7 layers. We have discussed all the 7 layers. Yes, just now what I have discussed, I have explained it in a figuratively for you people. Yes, this is your physical layer. This is your first layer. Next you people are going to have the data link layer, and the next one you people are going to have the network layer, and the next you people are going to have the transport layer, session layer, and the next one it is your presentation layer, and the next one it is your application layer. Okay va, starting from physical, data, network, like this it is going on. Okay va. So from this end one person is going to send the information from this end to the another end. What actually it will be happening? Yes, each and every step what else we have discussed by now, each and everything will be done in each and every layer. So consider this is one of first computer. So this is your computer 1, and in the next end you people are going to have the computer 2. So in that end also you are going to have the same protocols, same layers you people are going to have. Totally 7 layers, no? So it will be seen in that computer also. So from this computer it will be moving from application layer, this layer, that is your presentation layer, session, transport, network, data link, physical layer. And similarly in this end also it is going to have all the 7 layers. that end also it is going to have all the 7 layers. So already I told you physical layer is responsible for establishing connection. So இங்கிருந்து அனுப்புகிற டேட்டா எல்லாம் ஒவ்வொரு லேயரை கடந்து இப்போ எங்கே வந்துட்டு ஃபிசிக்கல் லேயருக்கு வந்துட்டு இந்த ஃபஸ்ட்டு கம்ப்யூட்டரோட ஃபிசிக்கல் லேயர். ஸோ இந்த லேயர்லேருந்து இப்போ இது எங்கே போகணும்? எஸ், ஃபிசிக்கல் லேயர் ஆஃப் தி செகண்ட் கம்ப்யூட்டர். ஏன்னா நம்ம என்ன பார்த்தோம்? ஸோ ஃபிசிக்கல் லேயர் இஸ் ரெஸ்பான்சிபிள் ஃபார் எஸ்டாப்ளிஷிங் த கனெக்ஷன்ஸ். ஸோ இந்த லேயருக்கு வரும், அப்புறம் இங்கே இருந்து ஒவ்வொரு லேயராக போகும். ஈச் அண்ட் எவ்ரி லேயர் வாட் இஸ் த டாஸ்க் இட் இஸ் கோயிங் டு பெர்ஃபார்ம் ஜஸ்ட் நோ வி ஹாவ் டிஸ்கஸ்ட். ஸோ இங்கேருந்து ஒவ்வொரு லேயராக போய் ஃபைனலி இட் வில் பி ரீச்சிங் த அப்ளிகேஷன் லேயர். ஃபைனலி இட் வில் பி ரீச்சிங் த அப்ளிகேஷன் லேயர். இதுதான் ஆக்சுவலாக நீ ஒரு கம்ப்யூட்டர்லேருந்து அடுத்த கம்ப்யூட்டருக்கு இன்ஃபர்மேஷனை சென்ட் பண்ணும்போது இதுதான் உனக்கு நடக்கு. ஓகேவா? சரி, ஃபிசிக்கல் லேயரில் உன்னோட டேட்டா இருக்கும்போது அதோட பேர் என்ன? எஸ், இட் இஸ் நத்திங் பட் இட் இஸ் யோர் பிட்ஸ். இட் இஸ் யோர் பிட்ஸ். ஸோ அடுத்த லேயருக்கு வரும்போது தட் இஸ் யோர் டேட்டா லிங்க் லேயரில் அதை ஃப்ரேம்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. இந்த நெட்வொர்க் லேயரில் என்ன சொல்லுவாங்க? பேக்கெட்டுன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. நீ அனுப்புகிற இன்ஃபர்மேஷனை ஒவ்வொரு லேயர்லையும் இட் இஸ் கோயிங் டு ஹாவ் டிஃப்ரெண்ட் நேம். ஸோ இந்த டிரான்ஸ்போர்ட் லேயர் it is going to have segment. It is going to have the name as segment. ஸோ நீ அனுப்புகிற டேட்டா இல்லை இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் ஒவ்வொரு லேயர்லேயும் என்ன இருக்கும்? ஒவ்வொரு பேரோடு இருக்கும். ஃபிசிக்கல் லேயரில் என்ன பேர்? பிட்ஸ். அடுத்த டேட்டா லிங்க் லேயரில் ஃப்ரேம், நெட்வொர்க் லேயரில் பேக்கெட், டிரான்ஸ்போர்ட் லேயரில் அதுக்கு என்ன பேர் தான்? செக்மெண்ட். ஸோ இந்த above 3 layer you people are having, no? So in that it is called a session protocol data unit here. Session protocol data unit. And in this presentation protocol data unit. And in this application protocol data unit. Okay, ma? So these are the terms that are used for your information in this layers. Okay, va? So clear with the topics that we have discussed by now. So what we have discussed by today? Yes, we have discussed the 7 layers. We have discussed the 7 layers. Each and every layers explanation, each and every layer responsibility, and each and every layers functions we have discussed. So this layer was introduced in the year 1984. So but in your book it is given as 1934, but the correct year is 1984 for you. So what is the first layer for you people? It is your physical layer, and the next one it is your data link layer, and the next one it is your network layer, and the next one it is your transport layer, and the next one it is your session layer, next one presentation, and the last it is your application layer. So clear with the topics. What else we have discussed by today? So by today we have finished 7 layers in the OSI model. 7 layers in the OSI model. So each and every layer will be having different protocols. Each and every layer will be having different protocols. In that we have discussed in the data link layer it is going to use 2 protocols. What are the 2 protocols? Yes, it is 802.3 and the next one 802.11. It is for your Ethernet. And the next it is for your Wi-Fi. Similarly, in each and every layer, it is going to have each and every protocol. So clear with the topics. What else we have discussed by now? Yes, thank you students. Remaining we can continue in the next class.